What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. You're joining me here for a back workout, and normally we're starting off with a row from the floor, but we're doing the Avenger row here. And this workout I was starting to get some tightness in the lower back and didn't really want to risk any sort of injury or whatever, so I did my first exercise as the Avenger row. Kind of went through to get warmed up to see how we're feeling, to get the body prepared to be able to go. So just kind of various sets here of doing the reps and trying to feel, trying to make sure the lats are okay, the lower back's feeling well, and kind of like a warm up set. It's harder in the winter months where everything's nice and cold, then it takes you a little bit longer to get going. Obviously, depending on the gym environment you're in, just kind of go from there. But eventually, we make over to our way to Penlay rows, and so or Penlay or hybrid, whatever you want to call them. And I did work up to 275, which wasn't terrible. Just kept it at triples. Oh man, I went even higher. Okay. I guess I went a little bit higher than I thought I would. So 315 for a couple reps. And honestly, for me, sometimes when I'm not feeling too good, I may just skip out on a whole exercise, but I guess we're okay. I'm also pulling in my Addy powers, which again, not recommended. I'm not sure what was going through my head during this workout, but I was adamant on rowing the 315. So doing the rows here with the Avenger rows is the warm up, and then just kind of going from there. So move on to T-bar row again, just doing the same workout. We're just moving stuff around if things don't feel good or if like certain machines and stuff aren't available. It's good to be dynamic when you're in a pretty busy gym. Certain stuff is going to be used more than others. So you just have to figure out, how do you want to play this? I'm the type of person who always wants to do the hard stuff first, just so I've got more energy, and then as we taper down into the more isolation stuff, it's a little bit easier to do and less stressful. Like obviously if you did rows or something at the end of a workout, you're not going to be able to go to those same weight thresholds, and also you might be a little bit fatigued. So to me, the more, less stabilization, more machine stuff involved, I'll save it for later. That way you can really focus on the pump, especially like lat pull down. You can kind of leverage yourself into a position. And so I usually keep these for the later end, and honestly, it's better that way. Obviously, finishing with like biceps and stuff, less intense, but just lets you, it's a good temper down from the, the high intensity work you were doing before. Though, do that stuff where your mind is fresh, where your body's fresh, where your pre-workout's starting to kick in. You've got some caffeine there, and kind of going from there. So that's always how I've been. And then when you get to the easy stuff, it's just you can really focus on the connection, getting a nice contraction, kind of going from there. So that's just how I've always done it, and I'll continue to do it that way. Moving on here. And so with that lower back stuff, though, even on bench and stuff like this, it can affect your positioning, especially if you have an arch or whatever. So sometimes the back stuff will actually help spur, healing and be able to, get some blood in the area and recover quicker. So I was okay here. If I was any sort of like uncomfortable, I would not be able to bench in the way that I'm benching now. So just kind of did what I did, and also having a pad against your back is a little nice. So just did my standard workout. We removed the OHP from this day because it was just a little bit too much before squats, and then the once a week honestly is fine. We are doing the dumbbell presses though with the dumbbells. So again, not as intensive as the strict OHP though when we're standing, but just works better in conjunction with everything I'm doing. Got to factor in all that stuff because it's not always fun. Your body's going to fight you back on certain things, and it's your job to see what you can push and what you can't, kind of going from there. So just various angles here. And again, nice and control. We're trying to be consistent every time that we bench. Again, we're not going to be breaking any records anytime soon, but it's consistency over time with recovery to be able to manage all these different workouts and stuff. And then our flat dumbbell press, again, with the cold dumbbells, but it's fine, where you want to get full range on here and just kind of do the reps we can do, because even if you can't get the same amount of reps you were getting before, if you have done the work previous and you're getting reps while pre-fatigued, then when you're not fatigued, you'll be a lot more efficient, be able to move more weight. So it's training in all aspects. You're training in a depleted state, that's fine. That means your depleted state, you can move similar weights, so when you're not depleted, you really see a big benefit there. So it's kind of always how my training's always been. Obviously, I want to try to like break records of personal records of myself over time. And the way to do it is by performing the movements and getting the work in. Let the body recover and kind of going from there. So it just really depends on your timeline there. Obviously, I don't have a strict timeline by when I want to hit weights. I'm just going to be ever improving to kind of go from there. And that's how I've always trained. And it's done me well. And I don't need to get injured and do crazy stuff like other people do when they're trying to speed one a certain rate. So moving on here to another leg day. And again, like I said before, when we're factoring in all of these compound movements, you really have to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and making sure that you're recovering correctly. And so for me, this is an early morning workout. I actually ended up working out with a friend from out of town. And, I don't normally train in the morning, so I had to adjust. And it's fun, had a decent workout, and just kind of went from there. But knew that probably wasn't going to hit anything specific or more than before. Just try to be in the ballpark range of my numbers. So that was my logic here. And it was fine. We did what we had to do. And honestly, for me, it's just it's good to get in and do the work, and that's totally fine with me. So just keep moving forward, keep making progress, going from there. So we're just kind of working up because we really didn't have a plan here. I know what my range was for what I wanted to do, and that's totally fine. Not everyone has to stick to the same workout. You can kind of mix in other stuff, but we did end up going up to the 3 plates or whatever. So not terrible, just kind of did a few reps. And honestly, went better because usually I don't eat in the morning like this early. I usually train in the afternoon on the days that I have off, like the Saturdays when I'm going there, and so I'll be able to have some sort of energy. I just did some pause reps here, I guess. I guess I'm pausing these for some reason. Not terrible, but whatever. I don't know why I did that. The more you deviate from training, the more difficult it is to recover from, so it is what it is. And then I did a few more sets here, and the gym was starting to get a little busy, so I was just trying to take my time, kind of go from here, do the work we needed to do and kind of move on. And then, be cognizant to everyone else's time. And, yep, moved on to sumo deadlifts here. And only did them here because the other platform was taken, so just kind of working up here. Hitting the numbers I need to hit. You can see the struggle, though. I don't deadlift well in the morning when I am pre-fatigued, and then also I am hungry. So just made the best of what we could do and just hit some weights. It's fine. I knew I was going to be, I think I was exhausted at the end of this workout too. When I don't have my food in me and I get up too early and don't sleep well, I'm like, okay. So just sticking to the most, the basic stuff that we're doing, the ham curl, leg extension, stuff like that, and really going from there. So it really just depends on, timing and training. Like I said, whenever you wake up naturally, everyone's cycle is a little bit different. When you eat your food, some people like to train fasted. I don't. I like to have a meal or two in me. Ideally, like at least 2, which is where I like training during the weekdays. And we're good to go there. So figure out what time works best for you. Go from there. Hit those workouts and then just rinse and repeat. Anytime you throw off the schedule, can take some time to adjust. Well, that's the workout. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.